Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone is doing good today. One new things I want to kind of start was almost like a check-in of all the small businesses around the Edmonton community. One of the things that you've noticed is this whole situation has caused business owners, entrepreneurs, operators to really pivot and try to figure out this kind of new world, this new system. And I had the great opportunity to sit down and have actually the first guest in this series from Effing Seafood's Effing Rob. So let me just bring him in. Hey, what's up, Robert?
How's it
How's it going
going?
today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So, first off, thank you so much for joining us. And please, to start off with, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in Edmonton for about 7 years now. I started this company about 4.5 years ago. Oil field brought me out here, but going back even further, I grew up on Vancouver Island. My dad was a fisherman, so seafood is just comes naturally. I was an oyster farmer for 11 years on the west coast of Vancouver Island in a place called Effingham Inlet. So you're the Effingham Inlet oyster. And there is a story behind the name Effing Seafoods. It's just shortened Effingham oyster down to Effing oyster. And, it fits my personality. I'm a bit of a smartass.
No, I love the brand. I love the name, and it's quite distinct. So, with bottom line, this current landscape that all small business owners are facing, can you tell us a little bit about how you pivoted and what you're doing now, essentially, to kind of keep the lights on, keep pushing through?
Yeah, the word I like to use lately is survival. And, I've kind of seen it as a bit of a challenge to kind of reset the company. We supplied a lot of the top independent restaurants in Edmonton, and a lot of them have shifted over to takeout and stuff like that now, but that part of the business, which was a huge percentage, was gone overnight. So I'm thankful that we've got our retail space and our own delivery service that was already established. And right away, the first thing I did after I had to lay off my staff was I locked the front door, I put up a sign, and been offering personal shopping experiences. So,
That's
putting a
wicked.
little fun spin on the lockdown and being careful and not touching anything. And, one of the things I love about what's happening is everybody's got time. Nobody's in a
Totally,
rush. In the
totally.
past, so many people were always in such a rush. One of the other big things I've done is I've invited some other vendors to offer their products at our shop. So Miuli's is a great example. They're on 124th Street. We have very similar niche businesses, and we also do farmers markets, and we were both torn if we would continue those. So what we
Mm.
both did is I told them to bring up their stock from one of the farmers markets, and
Yep.
we're offering it here at the shop. And then
Oh, it's
since
huge.
then, we've added Pinocchio ice cream and the big one, which is Wild Game Consultants. So that
Cool.
one is they're a wholesaler here in the city. We work with a lot of the same restaurants, and they don't have a retail space. They started
Wow.
deliveries, and I grabbed one of the freezer packs that they were offering, and I just thought this is a great opportunity for two local companies to collaborate who probably wouldn't collaborate otherwise. And we're all very excited about it because now I can become a little more full service, offer space for them to offer a few more products retail. And I think it's just going to be a long-term working relationship. So that's the biggest pivot that we've made.
And I can imagine like sort of came out of that is sort of the cross kind of pollination with clients. So when customers are looking for ice cream, but then obviously they have their protein needs, seafood needs, it allows them to kind of come full circle and maybe potentially one shop stop to pick up a number of different kind of packaged goods and items.
Definitely. Yeah, I know seafood's a luxury, and not seafood's not for everyone, but also as more and more people are getting laid off, with seafood being a luxury, I wanted to be able to offer other products as well and great deals to my customers that have supported me. The support local movement has blown my mind.
It's wicked.
A few months ago, the retail shop was it was tough for us. We were a destination. It was hard to get people in. And now I'm seeing constant flow of people that are making that conscious effort to support local, especially when this all started 3.5 weeks ago. We all saw the Costco's of the world and everything cleared shelves and lineups and everything. And since then, the support local has been amazing, and I'm super thankful. And that's what's keeping me alive right now.
And that's fantastic to hear, because that was actually leading into my next question, is like, how has the local community been supporting you? And that's phenomenal that you guys are seeing sort of that drive and that consistency around that. And I don't know if you could at all go into a little bit of detail, especially for some of the other small business owners who are listening to this. Do you have any like suggestions or thoughts on why that is, or how can people sort of better engage the community around them or their current customer base to come indoors to support them?
It's hard to say. For me, I think the biggest, I wasn't sure when 3 weeks ago when I locked the front door, I wasn't sure how it would be received. And I honestly wasn't sure if I'd even survive. And, I'm very active on social media, and that's how we've connected. And I think that's just a big, strong message that I've always engaged with. And people are becoming more and more receptive, being so closely connected to the food industry and restaurants, and seeing how many just close their doors, and there's that worry of how many will be able to reopen. Yep. And we're all just trying to support each other, because a lot of those people are my friends, and we're in contact personally, just checking on each other. And there was a great example of a couple weeks ago where one of my friends, we were chatting a bit, and we were just having a rough week, that first week of a roller coaster of mixed emotions. And they decided to close their doors and not even do takeout. But they were stressed that they will never have another service in that kitchen again. I created a post on social media about supporting local, but also telling their story about our interactions. Nothing, more than just that. And I talked to them since, and they said that they got a few gift cards purchased, which helped. Wicked. And, it's with the key for me with the whole support local movement is we're not asking for everything. We have to go to some of the big box stores to get things. But, I think the most valid point that I've seen made on social media is, small local businesses get asked a lot for donations over the years. And this is the time to pay it back, where we just need that little bit. And with coming back to where I was talking about people just having a lot more time, I'm having a lot more conversations on the personal shopping and chatting more with people. Yeah. And I've had lots of great stories. One of them was there's a guy that comes in once a week to grab a few bits and pieces, and we were chatting, and he was saying that, every couple days they're trying to order in from one of those local restaurants to make that conscious effort. And that's huge.
100%. And I would love to actually dive a little bit deeper into your business in terms of some of your packages. And what I've sort of gathered is you've created seafood packages that are either based on, your offerings, or you can make custom ones. It's based on people's budgets or dietary needs. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that, because I think that's a very important point of how businesses are navigating this, by creating these kind of packaged goods that people can take home, freeze, or eat right then and there. And can you discuss that a little bit?
Definitely. So our delivery service with our packages goes back a couple years. I started it before I had the retail space as an option for people to get my fish in the winter when there was no outdoor farmers markets. That's what I built the business on, was farmers markets. And I started it with a pre-made package where I decided what it was, because number one, with fish, it's not like a farm. We never know what we're going to have available. And number two, my goal is to encourage people to try something other than salmon and halibut. Those are the go-tos. Those are the most familiar fish that everyone knows. And this was a way to introduce people to so many different fish that we bring in from all over the world. it's kind of expanded now, and I had actually started working on version 2.0 in December and January, and we launched it in February, where it's a bigger variety of packages, and it's delivered pretty much across most of Alberta.
Okay.
We've got a map on our website, and it's basically a monthly package, but there's different ones where it's more about what we can offer. There's one package where it's the OG pack, where that was the original, where it all started.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the most popular, but I've got new ones with my choice, the ones I eat regularly. And then we've got the meat packages now from Wild Game, which is a big variety as well. We launched a subscription of that.
Wicked.
And I'm pretty excited because we all see a lot of the delivery services popping up, and I'm a part of a couple others. And I know for ours, at least, this is going to be a long-term service that we're going to always provide. So I'm excited with this partnership with Wild Game. And looking at the different options, we'll probably look at a mixed pack down the road. Right now, one of the big ones is you talked about the custom packages. Yeah. That's a tough one for me right now. I'm trying to really push people to our safe environment in the store or towards one of the pre-made packages, because I'm doing this by myself, and the last couple of days I'm definitely feeling burnt out.
Totally, and I can understand that with the challenges, especially if you're trying to, obviously protect the business. So you're piecing together packages that make sense, but also you're trying to satisfy people's budgets needs. So, no, I think that's awesome. I commend you, Robin, for that. And it sounds like to me the importance, especially in this time, of like partnerships or relationships with other business owners, because end of the day we're all in this together, and it's important that we work together to kind of rise above everything else.
I agree. And one of a great example for me recently was there's a company called Steve and Dan's Fruit. They do a lot of farmers markets. I've gotten to know them quite well. They've just launched their own delivery service that we're offering a couple products to. And Steve called me a couple of weeks ago, and we got chatting. And because I've got the experience of doing deliveries and doing these kind of packages, we spent an hour chatting, and I had no problem giving him every bit of information I could, because
That's
I agree.
awesome.
We're all in this together. And if anybody's got questions about that stuff, feel free, give me a call for sure.
Wicked. And then anyone who's like kind of listening to this or who's watching this down the road, and they want to, like, hey, this is actually wicked, I would love to buy one of these. How like they go about that? By just checking on your website, and they can do that all through online, or how does that process look?
Definitely. So we've got our website that directs straight to the Fish Club, which is effinglove.ca. Yep. And we've got all the different packages up there. I know I'm not a big web guy, but I've learned a lot about my website the last few months, and just learning how to upload new products and keep on top of that. And definitely I see that as a way for our company to grow in the future. I feel like deliveries will be more prominent down the road as well, where this is the new norm. It was already coming this way, where you look at all the grocery stores do their online deliveries and ordering. And for me, the big one is just making sure we're providing the best service possible. And that's why I'm trying to avoid the custom orders. Is I got to make sure that whatever we're doing well.
100%. And one of the things I really wanted to point out to you, Rob, is like in the mix of sort of everything that's going through, your, I guess, resilience to, bottom line, putting the best foot forward in terms of your products and services, but more so, I mean, on social media, putting out some of that energy and putting out some of that personality is phenomenal, like phenomenal. And I really want to share everyone this clip, this awesome clip that just sets the bar. And I think, as you said before, it summarizes kind of yourself and your personality quite well. And so I'm going to bring up this clip.
I can only imagine. I was a glow stick ninja to a sandstorm yesterday.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh, it is so perfect. Sorry, 1 second. I think we're ready for it to be queued.
Another one. Because I won't post it if I do. Oh my God, Cherry, look at that cup. It is so deep. It looks like one of those effing oysters. Dun, 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 dun. I like deep cups and I cannot lie. You oyster lovers can't deny that when a stir struts in with an itty bitty hinge and a deep cup in your face, you get effed. Now hold up the shop, because effing oyster is only a buck. Deep in the cup she's sporting, I'm hooked and I can't stop slurping. Oh baby, I want to get with ya and slurp your oyster. My homeboy tried to warn me, but that cup you got makes me so horny. Ooh, that's it. Here's a little laugh.
I had to share that, Rob. That was such an awesome moment, and I know you're doing more of those, and I'm gonna keep queuing those onto the Instagram just because they are perfect, and I think that captures your personality.
It does. Anybody that knows me knows I love my old school, and I like to have fun. I think, after the initial shock of what was happening, and I realized that, I get to do the personal shopping. And I've said this for years, that if I get to work just the counter and interact with people, that's all I would want to do. So it's a fun experience for me where it's actually, picked me up, because that's what I get to look forward to every day. I'm not going to lie, by the end of the day when I go home, I'm worn out and tired because of all that high energy, and I feel bad for my girlfriend right now, but, I'm sorry, babe. But yeah, that's one of the biggest things I've learned lately, is that I'm able to still do what I love. This is my dream. I came up with this whole idea and concept years ago, implemented it here in Edmonton. Even that logo that's behind me there, I created the initial logo 8 years ago, long before I came to Edmonton. And, it's all about survival right now, and just, staying away from the news and just focusing on what's going to come next, and just staying 100%. Ahead, and making sure that you're providing a good experience for people.
100%, and I couldn't agree with you more, Rob, around that. So you know what? I've taken enough of your time. I just want to say thank you. I know it's a working day and you're about to open up the shop to start everything. Please keep doing what you're doing. I hope Edmonton sort of rallies and supports, and I hope a lot of people other business owners and individuals can learn from this, and in addition, support your business, and thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one, Rob.
All right. You too.